Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam Tyler, and today I'm going to reveal a few things through a self-interview. The interviewer couldn't make it today, so I didn't want to disappoint you all. So here we go. The first question: who are my influences? Who are the ones who inspired me to do this in professional wrestling or otherwise? Well, some of my biggest influences are Edge, Seth Rollins, and Daniel Bryan. Let me start by explaining that I've always been a big Edge head. Ever since I started watching wrestling back in whatever it was, 2005, I was an Edge head. Back when we had those little Game Boys, WWE Survivor Series, I always played as Edge. Edge was the first person I won the storyline with, and I really hated John Cena. But that's another story for another day. I also really like Edge because he was able to reinvent himself several times throughout his career and still do amazing. There's a reason he's in the Hall of Fame. Now, him in the Hall of Fame before The Rock, and I'm an Edge fan. Anyway, I'm also a big fan of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is just amazing. Every company he's ever walked into, he's been a champion. And I want to be just like that. I want every company I walk in to be graced by my presence, to benefit from my expertise, and hopefully I will be able to capture a world title in the National Online Wrestling League, Dark Rebellion Wrestling. I mean, there's a nice little list of them right now, and I'm just trying to keep up with them all. So I'm sorry if I don't mention your league. And then Seth Rollins just has that amazing entrance sequence where it goes one of those. It's psychotic. It's just really fun to watch. He's entertaining, and that's the thing. I mean, a good wrestler should always entertain you. Another one of my influences is Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's just awesome. He's just amazing to watch. Like, that man will kick the hell out of people. The man looks like a troll, okay? And he still gets the fans behind him just like that. That's just amazing charisma. And I don't think it's all the chance. People say it's all the chant, but it's really not. It's the fact that he's actually good. A couple other influences I have, and these are just in my e-fetting days, are James and Lee. Those two guys have done wonders for my career. Without those two, I wouldn't be here today. James gave me a chance to win my first ever world championship, and Lee's just really helped me out through the years and made me a better promoist. My second question was, how does it feel to have retired the global championship and have been the first ever international champion? Well, it's great to have been the international champion at DRW. That belt means a lot. The global championship meant so much when I held it, and it's just amazing to know that I won these championships within 2 months of returning after I was there for maybe 3 weeks. And it's showing because I'm gaining recognition throughout the Facebook eFed world, and I'm being invited to like 10 promotions a day, and I can't keep up with them all, or I would. Like, I still have my journalism major, my creative writing major, or my minor, I should say, in college to deal with. So, I mean, what's the most important title to me that I've ever won? And then, what's the most personal title? Well, the most important title to me I've ever won is that first AWF championship. I believe it was back in 2010 or something when I was under the Edge gimmick. Oh my god, that was just amazing to know that I finally was given a chance, to know that somebody finally believed in me. It was just amazing. And then probably my most important title personally that I've ever won was the last title I ever won, actually, under the Ryan Thunder gimmick in AWF. And that was a tag team championships with Bryan Danielson. That meant the world to me. Like, I cannot explain. I cannot put in words just how amazing it was, because he's been one of my biggest influences, as stated earlier. And so, knowing that I can actually say that I've held the tag team championships with Bryan Danielson. I mean, who could say that? Kane? Maybe? I mean, really, there's not very many people that could say that, and that's just incredible. What's my favorite wrestling gimmick I've wrestled under? Well, I love the contract extension gimmick that Ryan Thunder had. There was a legendary promo where I was the first person to ever go over 100 comments on a promo thread. We were on this site called SellYouFun, and you can only have 255 characters per post, and so it's been interesting to try and cut a promo on there, but you look at that, and the fact that I made 100 comments on 255 characters, that's over 25,500 characters, and probably an average of 25 words per post. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, that's probably like 2,500 words. I mean, no one does that. No one sits there for hours and hours and types out a promo like that. I swear. And the gimmick allowed me to gripe for a reason, which was really very interesting because I'll be the first person to admit it. I do complain a lot. But I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, it was cool to complain for a reason, if that makes sense. What's my favorite title in DRW that I've never won? Well, I'd say it's either the World Championships. It will be amazing to see my name on either championship, and I should probably have 2 shots by Driven, so it'd be cool to be a champion by then. If not, I mean, I'll just pick my head up, keep moving towards it, and hopefully I'll have a championship by the end of the year. What are the origins of my whirlwind kick? Where did I get it from? Well, back in the old days, I made a roster of like 100 superstars that I made up in my head, and the whirlwind kick was actually originally on a guy I called Austin 1012, and it was originally supposed to be like a spinning F5 into like a back kick, but then I realized that was extremely dangerous, so I kind of custom made it into where it's like almost a spinning CM Punk thing. But the move's just really fun, and I'm glad DRW gave me the chance to use it. What's it like to run a company like PCW? Well, it's an amazing company. The problem is that it's very busy, but it's really fun to work with guys such as Will-O-the-Wisp, Chris Cage, Chris Zero, Jaquan Bing. I mean, there have just been so many talents that have been really fun to work with. Ralph Swagger, I mean, these are guys that I really hope to work with for the next several years, if possible. My last gimmick. Why did I change my last gimmick, is what this question says. It was fun, but it wasn't natural for me. Like, you shouldn't have to force a gimmick, and I didn't want to sit there and force being dark when I'm actually a pretty positive person. And I naturally have a bit of arrogance, so this new character is going to work out amazingly. I can just feel it. How do I feel about the Game Changer gimmick? Well, as I was saying, it's a very good gimmick for me. It plays on real life in that I actually changed the game several times. First, on Cellufun, I completely inspired several feds just based off of the fact that I would sit there and I would cut these really long promos, and that, I mean, I was pretty much the one that kickstarted it, and you can argue for Lee or James, and I will say, without them, I probably wouldn't have stayed, and there probably wouldn't be an AWF today. But it's one of those things, it's like a triangle type thing. One cannot live without the other. Does that make sense? Like, it was just amazing, though, to work with those guys. But I also changed roleplay wrestling on Facebook. I've basically converted most of the roleplay groups into E-Feds because E-Feds take up less time. It's just easier for people. If you sit there and you roleplay all the time, I mean, someone's not going to show, and then your match is going to be all kinds of screwy and stuff like that. Like, whereas with an E-Fed, you can run it without people cutting promos, but one promo a week isn't too much to ask. Like, it's definitely doable. My final question that I received to go off of was, what are my career goals in DRW? Well, hopefully I can come away with holding every title once when it's all said and done. Every male title, obviously. Because that's what I did in AWF. I held every title once, and I was the first person to ever do that. Although you can argue The Undertaker. The Undertaker technically, because we had a title called the Heritage title that was retired by The Undertaker. And I mean, technically, he held every title first, including the retired titles, but I held every title at least once that was currently active. Well, guys, that's the show. Thank you for watching, and I hope this kind of helps you out with my background a little bit. Feel free to subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill.